Before we begin, thank you very much to Dice Dragon Dan for joining the Patreon campaign. Very appreciated. Thank you very much for your support. It means the world to me. A fellow Dice Dragon. Thank you. I hope your horde continues to grow. As you can tell, it's appropriate. I've been in a D&D mood. I might do a video just talking about the new D&D game we just started up, which I'm going to plug heavily, by the way. Stay tuned till the credits, because I did put a highlight from our recent episode 1 as the new video in the outro, just so you can get an idea of the kind of chaos that's going to go on. So watch for it. It's fun. It's lovely. So let's talk about gambling. And no, I don't mean the Pokemon cards behind me. Well, not entirely. Okay, so we admit, right? That's the cardboard slot machine. All TCGs are. I mean, if you're looking to play, the bulk is always nice if you want to make multiple decks, so that is not necessarily a bad thing. At least you're still getting something out of your experience, but you are trying to pull for those super rare, powerful cards that are either going to make or break your deck or make or break your bank account. However way it goes, that's what you're really looking for, no matter what card game you're playing. So, of course, yes, there is always a risk-reward system to that. But keep in mind, there is also a risk and reward system to us who have to buy it from the distributors. So when we look at new product that is available to us to buy, there's always this little head game of what do we actually do with it? Because we could end up in a situation where we either under-ordered and we've got a lot of upset customers who weren't able to buy it, or we've got too much of it and we just cannot turn a profit because we over-ordered. So the balancing act is extremely important when it comes to ordering in all that new stuff, because we can't just assume it's all going to sell. Especially in the card world, Pokemon a couple years ago, oh yeah, anything we ordered flew off the shelves. It's calmed down now. It has its spurts and it has its moments, but for the most part, it's time to actually kind of be a little bit more judicious about what we order. And sometimes it goes really quick and it kind of surprises us, and sometimes it just sits around. So it's a lot of reading the tea leaves. And those tea leaves for us are looking at past product that is similar. How well did it sell? Is this product more appealing than the last version of it was? What series is this product representing? Is the series doing well right now, or is everyone just waiting for the next one to come in? It's a lot going on to account for just for the sake of ordering merchandise for the week. So for us, that is a constant gamble, just trying to make sure that we're not throwing money away. And that's pretty much any retail outlet like this. For us, it's a little bit more close to the chest as far as how much to order and how much room we have to take a risk on things. Little shops like that kind of run that way. Some weeks it's just getting by the skin of your teeth. And some weeks are phenomenal, and that gives you the freedom to play around a little bit. It all just kind of depends, right? So, we kind of have to play through that. And that's pretty much the same of all the merchandise. But sometimes things come in where you kind of have to do a little bit more in order to not only justify the gamble, but the gamble becomes much, much greater than typical. So we have examples over here, if you care to take a look. So recently, and I did a video about this, we've had someone who came in and brought us Power Ranger stuff, and some really, really cool Power Ranger stuff. And a lot of it was Japanese Super Sentai. So a lot of people came in and just gobbled it up because everyone knows that, or at least everyone assumes, the Japanese version is better than the American version. It's not true 100% of the time. But it is more common that the American version is cheaper made, less die cast, less accurate stickers, etc., etc. You know how it goes. So those went really fast and they did really well for us. Well, it's not the only thing. So here, let's take a look, because I don't think I showed these off. These came in later. This was in a second batch that we bought from the same guy. Check this out if you know Super Sentai. That's Kyoryuger Brave, or more correctly, Power Rangers Dino Force Brave. That is a Korean exclusive spin-off from Kyoryuger with 10 additional episodes and a bunch of repaints and remolds from the main toy line to keep it going a little bit longer. Because it was just that popular in Korea. Like, they never did that for Super Sentai before or since. I don't know where this guy got so much fantastic stuff, but he did. And he got absolutely incredible things that did really well for the shop. And we've still got a really nice selection, a whole bunch more that we have to go through, including those. I have the entire line. Like I've got the 6th Rangers mech, I've got the 2 auxiliary Zords, I've got everything. I've got every line, I've got all the exclusives for Kyoryuger Brave, outside of like the new gun. I don't have the new gun, but the Zords, oh yeah, I got those. But that's a risk. Like when we bought those, I warned the owner, like, this is an extremely rare set. This has a lot of demand on it online, but in person, it might be a long time before someone comes in who actually recognizes it, much less wants to pay the price point for it. So this is something that's going to sit around a long time, and that is obviously a risk, because that's a lot of money to tie into something that is just going to sit around. Usually a shop like this, you want to focus on things that are going to turn over very, very quickly, so your money doesn't just get thrown out the window every single week. Obviously, we're looking to constantly move products so we can reinvest in more product, and then the store itself, because the store itself needs a lot of investments going, here and there. I'll make videos of that when those get underway too, because there actually is some exciting stuff being worked on in the background of this shop right now. Just not quite ready to share it with everybody. We'll get there though. We'll get there. But so that's the kind of thing when I mean, like, there is a constant, like, it's the endless gambit is what it is. It's the endless gambit that the risk that we take is going to pay off for us down the line, whether it is like sells the same week or whether it's something that's going to sit around for a while and eventually it's either going to become more valuable and thus our inventory increases in value, which is also good for a shop like this, or someone finally does notice it and bites the bullet. So, same customer, same guy sold us some additional things. He sold us the red and white Power Ranger helmets from the Lightning collection. And those were just as popular as a lot of the other Power Ranger things from him that we got. They sold extremely quickly. I think I made space up on this shelf over here for the helmets, and right after, like literally an hour after I put them up there, the Red Ranger helmet sold. And I think, I want to say the White Ranger helmet sold, I want to say the same day, but it was at the very least the same weekend. So that was pretty quick too. So that's, so obviously when we had the option of getting another one, yeah, that's, at first, that's something easy. You go, well, it sold so well the first time, of course you're going to get it again if you have the opportunity. Well, few things here. Number one, the helmets we had before were loose. As I sit here, I've got this one, and then if you look behind me, there's the Red Ranger helmet. And behind that, I don't even think you can see that far back, because they're barely shown on camera, I have the blue and the pink one now, too. So I've got 4 of the Lightning Collection helmets now. So the ones we had previously were loose, which means they were less expensive. And it means someone wasn't, like, pained over, like, having to, like, ruin the value to open them and actually see the helmets on display. No, he just gets to take them home and put them straight on his shelf. That's the appeal to loose stuff, is that it runs a lot cheaper, and if you're the type that just wants to see it, and not just the box for it, then it's going to be really important to you to actually just, be able to have it out there. And that means you don't have the worry of like, oh God, I'm ruining the value. So, you'd think if it sold so well and so fast the first time, no brainer, get it again. But this is going to be a much more expensive piece than the previous one. These things on eBay right now sell, for around $350. So that's about the price that I'm going to put on it. Now, How long is it going to be before someone comes in who wants to pay $350 for a White Ranger helmet in person? Obviously, in person, there's always going to be people who want to buy it that way so they can see it, make sure it's sealed, make sure it's in good condition, etc. But have I already lost any chance of selling this by selling the loose helmet to the one person in the area that would have been interested in paying that to get it? There are a lot of things we have in here that were bought from, by local people who are very, very valuable, but they're really the only people around who are really knowledgeable about it, know about it, and would be interested in it. I have things here on the back wall. They've been sitting here for over 2 years. They are very valuable, but they are just things that it takes a very particular type to come in and go, give me that. And every now and then that does happen. Today we sold through two helmets. One was an Optimus Prime helmet, and the other one was a Stormtrooper helmet. And the Optimus Prime one has been here for a while, but the Stormtrooper helmet, that's been here a long time. So just every now and then, I never know what's going to sell. It might just be that random one thing. Maybe someone comes in next week and goes, oh, I really like Dino Charge. I didn't know, Korea did, exclusive versions of those. Yeah, give me all of those. Which would make my whole week if that happened. But point being, it's a gamble. Because I've already reduced my market by selling one of these to someone who is willing to spend that kind of money. Now I got to find a second person willing to spend even more to get it this way. So that's my gamble. That is the gamble I take. And there's other gambles to consider here. So, see all these Funko Pops here? So, there's no Funko Pop in this little stack right here. You get out of the way. I'm not including you. But these 10 Pops here, there is no Funko Pop right now that my hand is touching that is under $110 on the Pop Price Guide value. All of these are some of the biggest pops we've ever had in this store, and they range all over the place. So we've got the Wolfpack Sting, that's the 110. This is the low end. And that's already valuable. We have the Bank Robber Joker. This is like a $400 pop. Even on a bad day, this is a $400 pop. And I'm always weary of this one because this one, someone tried to sell us a knockoff of this before. And that is where our new gamble comes in. So when I look over these, here we go. Chase Jason Voorhees, the original movie release for Funko Pops. This is a $600 Funko Pop. So, it's also a very commonly knocked off pop. Usually, if a pop hits triple digits and it's from a major franchise, there's a knockoff of it from China that is absolutely worthless. And sometimes those are extremely, extremely hard to pick up. We had a Tupac pop in here that we really did think was legitimate, but there's just very small things that were wrong with it. And that runs a huge risk for us because we lost money on that when we found out that it was fake. So, yeah, when something like this comes in, it is heavily scrutinized. I am on Google searching up the comparison shots. What's the comparison? How do I tell the real one from the fake one? I'm checking eBay listings to see how common it is to get out of China. I'm interrogating the guy who brought him in. He's a regular. I trust him. So, but where did you get them? And he's telling me they came from a different shop in town. It's 30 minutes down the road, but it's from directly from the owner, and he bought them when the pops were new and when they were first coming out. So if I can call down, since he's known to the owner down there, I can call down there and verify whether or not the story is correct. And anytime someone gives me the ability to do that, yeah, they're not going to make that suggestion if it was incorrect. So yes, I believe him when he says it came from an actual store and not an eBay page, because I have carte blanche to check anytime I want to see if he's lying. So yeah, but that is such a risk, because even if we go over it with a fine-tooth comb, even if we're like sitting there and examine it all day just to make sure everything on it looks absolutely correct, we're still not entirely sure. And there's no way to be entirely sure unless you are an absolute Funko expert. I will admit, I know a lot more about these little fake bobbleheads than I used to. However, I don't know everything. And I don't know, like, beyond what I can search for on YouTube and Google about what is real and what is fake and how to spot the difference, I really don't know that much. You know, I know enough to price them out. I know enough to get by, but I'm not a total expert. So when we take things like this, we try our best to make sure it's all above board and make sure everything is real. And we check them over as much as we can. You know, there are strong indicators of when they are incorrect. Certain logos look wrong. They are put in the logos are put in different spots. The print quality is not quite clear. The reason the bank robber Joker is legitimate to me is because the little trademark logo at the tail of the bat is actually legible, where the knockoff we had previously, it was so like poorly scanned that just kind of those letters just kind of blurred out, and they were just kind of like rough pixels. And yes, I've double checked to see what a real one looked like. You know, there are some where like sometimes they have that trademark stamp, sometimes they don't. If they have the trademark stamp in the wrong spot, it's a fake. So we've had to make sure, like I've had to check with like genuine ones. Okay, this is exactly how it's supposed to look. And it's a risk because, you know, we're, you know, spending a lot of money to get a hold of big items, and it might end up being worthless. So there you go. So these are just a few examples of what it is like to be a business like this, where every purchase is like a make or break situation, where, you know, like a big retailer can absorb something that is, you know, it's, you know, it gives them new stuff, and some people are going to sell, or some people are going to buy it, but ultimately they might lose money on it. It might not work out for them. But here, every purchase has, you know, and they can just write it off, you know, like in the grand scheme, it's not going to hurt their business at all. Here, every single purchase or acquisition we make has got to be checked over as carefully as possible and calculated as finely as possible, either to make sure we're not taking an unnecessary risk or to make sure we're actually getting something that is what it claims to be. Regardless of what it is, yeah, there is a endless gambit and endless risk and gamble to what we do, which, you know, considering where we started with the cards, I think is pretty appropriate. So there you go. One more day in the life of running a collector's toy shop, the risks and the rewards that go into running a place like this, because sometimes you have to just put some faith in what you're getting and take a risk and hope that it works out. Sometimes it does, and when it does, you know, it does make the shop look a lot better and makes my day go a lot better. And yeah, you know, someone leaves with something incredibly rare, shop looks good because we're offering up things you can't find anywhere else, and there's more money in the bank account, and that's good for everybody. And that's the toy store life.
It's the bosun's turn. He's looking at TJ's character and he's just like, "What you gonna do?"
Right. I blew him a kiss.
I love him. I love him.
What the hell's your problem? He's just gonna pull his can crossbow and just fire at you.
That's fair at this point.